Numbers to drop, continue to encourage our people to get vaccinated so that the numbers will continue to drop. Be with us throughout this meeting and throughout the rest of this week as we attend to the business of your people at this time. Got our tongues, our hearts, our minds throughout this meeting. Bless the families, especially two of them that we know that are grieving at this time, and I'm sure there are others in the family of the Dubrels, as well as the King in the family of Eddie Mae King of this community, who lived here in this community and served in this community for a long time. Be with us again throughout the week. Give us the strength that we need to do what you would have us do, is our prayer. In Jesus' name, amen. Now, I apologize for talking so loud because I don't have a mic here, so I don't know when I'm loud enough or not loud enough. So somebody who's there can respond in the chat box, Miss Soccer, whether I'm loud enough or too loud.
Yes.
And then I'll make the adjustment. We're good? We're good. All right. Thank you. I would think being an old band director, I can talk loud enough. All right. Couple of announcements. The service for Dr. John Dubrel will be tomorrow at noon at the Pettigrew Center, CW Pettigrew Center. The viewing was this afternoon. It's over now. The one for Miss Eddie Mae King will be at Willow Lake Memorial Gardens at 1 o'clock tomorrow, 1 o'clock. And so for those of you, and the viewing for that is ongoing right now. I think it's over at 6. Now, I saw 2 more names there that I didn't know that those families. We are losing people in this community. Let's pray for all of our families who have lost loved ones. Yeah, Miss Sammy Mae Jefferson's son, is that, what was his name? What was his full name? Because I called Duke last night. I think, is that the one that used to work out there with y'all? He's in the military. Okay. All right. To let you know who Sammy Mae is, we have 2 people from Griffin Line that always come to our meetings. I call them the mayor, or 3, it was 3 of them. One of them is going on to heaven now. But I call the mayor of Griffin Line and the vice mayor of Griffin Line, and they come together in a grove. And so you won't see Miss Sammy Mae this week, and let's keep her in our thoughts and in our prayers. All right, now as we get started, a couple of quick announcements about that COVID-19 situation. We were told this morning on our GMA Zoom, which we go to every week on Tuesdays, that those numbers are really dropping. The numbers are really dropping. I think we have lost 5 folks in the state of Georgia in the last deaths. I'm talking about in the last, I think they said week or so. Wherein before we were losing like 51 a day and that kind of thing. So those numbers are dropping. Thank everybody for getting vaccinated and continue to encourage others to get vaccinated. Now, we all up here have had our shots, but and when we need to, we wear our masks. I still wear mine. I got it up here. And we encourage all of us to continue to do that, because you don't know when you're running into somebody who has not been vaccinated or somebody who's been around somebody who may have had it. So let's take precaution with that. All right. Now, I do want to say that our meetings are beginning to be in person as well as via Zoom now for the ones who want to see that. Because as you can see, we got small space here in this little room, and we cannot crowd everybody that want to come to a meeting in here. So we have to take that kind of precaution also. We used to sing in the choir. I know it won't be this way always, And so I know it won't be this way always, and we will have more space a little bit later on. The other thing that I want to mention in the line of announcements, and I'll do it again on Thursday, I was out of place on last weekend, was attending a granddaughter's graduation out of town. But I got the word, that's a song we used to sing too. I got the word that Fort Valley was off the chain that Friday evening for First Friday Fort Valley. So I want to thank I want to thank all of the council members who came out. I want to thank the mayor pro tem and the city administrator, the public works and public safety people that worked to make sure it ended up being a great experience. I had my students there from all everywhere, and they were texting me during the whole time while I'm. I didn't need to say that. While I'm traveling, they were texting me and saying, "It's awesome, Mayor Williams. It's awesome." And so I want to thank the PAC committee for put into that, and we're looking forward to opening things back up and taking precautions. We hadn't heard anybody going to the hospital as a result of having a good time. Miss Bryant didn't go to the hospital for breaking her back while she was dancing.
I had a good from 1 a.m. to the other.
And so thank y'all so much for doing that. And that's what we needed. People needed to come out of the house. All right, now we are going to have on Thursday night your meeting at 4:30 in person and on the Zoom on Thursday night. And then after that, we're going back to the 6 o'clock. We talked about going back to the 6 o'clock for the work session, which would be the month of June. The 6 o'clock work session and 6:30 public meeting. So let's plan for that, those of us who want to come. We advertised and had an educational meeting about the stormwater utilities this afternoon. It was advertised and we had a few people that showed up, but we're going to plan another one for sometime in July. So it could be, everybody could know exactly what direction we are going with the stormwater utility. Graduation for Peach County High School is this weekend, is that right? Or next weekend?
This weekend.
This Friday at 8 o'clock. At 8 o'clock in Anderson Stadium. Okay. Okay. So if the weather is permitting, let's go and see our children or our young people.
Drive-by parade Wednesday.
The drive-by.
Yes, ma'am. It's going just like they did last year. Start environment. Straight to Brown.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I need to get in there.
We hope it don't rain.
Yeah, hope it doesn't rain. Yeah. So let's share that.
10-day weather forecast.
No rain so far. So.
But they said during the day, and it looks like it's about to do it.
It's
But anyway,
cloudy, but.
yeah. So anyway, hopefully that's the case. Now a lot of graduations going on now. Fort Valley State had theirs this past weekend. Some people are happy and some are sad because the Eagles are back home now. And so, so anyway, all right. First, I need the approval of the agenda. I want to make one correction. Councilman Jimmy Barnes has something that he wants to share with us, but he wants to move it down to the executive session part of the meeting. So number 4 needs to be moved down to the executive session. All right. All right. I need a motion to approve the agenda.
Move approval of the agenda.
All right. Motion by Van Hartford and seconded by Allen that we approve the agenda. Are there questions? No questions. I call for the vote. It's Jimmy. Rain. And so I call for the vote. All in favor of it, all in favor of approving the agenda, let it be known by raising your hand.
Aye.
Opposers the same sign, and no opposers, and we'll move ahead. Hopefully before the bottom falls out, we'll be finished. All right, you have your minutes from all of the meetings to review. Should be there. We don't have to take any action on those today. You just get a chance to look through those. And I assume, Ms. Wright, you sent that to everybody? Okay, she sent those to you so you can review those between now and Thursday when we actually have to have and have to take action. Now, the persons wishing to address mayor and council, I don't see Ms. Sandra Marshall. Is she in the lobby? She's not. Okay, don't see her here. So we'll, if she comes, we'll just move her down to the end, of that section. All right, then, the persons are not going to be here that would address us from the AARP WHO designation of age-friendly community. Those persons visited us in our office, and of course, this is not the first time they have come to visit, and gave us a presentation asking that we consider joining a network of AARP members called Age-Friendly States and Communities. And it's the the AARP and World Health Organization, which is a global network of age-friendly cities and communities. Now, I said a long time ago, we are not necessarily a retirement community, and we are not necessarily just a senior community. We have a lot of diversity as far as age and culture in this community. So we do need some things that would apply for that. I am going to send you all the information that some of the other cities have sent in order to do that. I would like to be able to take action and fill out that application to make us age-friendly community in the city of Fort Valley. We have a lot of seniors in this community, and there are a lot of things, me too, there are a lot of things that can be open for them. So just keep that in mind. All right, number 3 on the persons to address the mayor is Ms. LaTanya Ages, and she wants to talk about a homecoming festival at the Festival Park. Okay, ma'am, you have the floor. And if you need the mic, it's here and plugged up, I think. So, yeah. That way we can see you. We see your back, but everybody else can see your face on the screen. Okay.
Good afternoon. The PAC committee, Peach Activity Committee would like to thank the citizens of Fort Valley, the mayor, and city council for allowing us to extend the first Friday. It was a great success, and we talk about our mayor and city council. It was a great success. So we want to thank you guys for that. What we come here today to ask for permission for is we're going to start with July 2nd. We skip June because it's the Peach Festival. Respect to the Peach Festival, PAC is not doing first Friday. But we hope to begin July 2nd. And what we want to do for July 2nd is to have more vendors, more items for the kids, and up the vendors so we can make money to put back into our community. And more decoration, of course, for our July 2nd. So I've been getting numerous emails from Angela and I went to the Pan African Festival in Macon and met a lot of vendors, and they've been emailing like crazy. Some of them are at our first Friday in May, and they want to come to July, and some more, about 30 vendors have been reached out. So that's a blessing. So July 2nd, that's what we're going to do. We're just going to extend the fund and make it more. Now, I came to ask also for a summer vacation for kids in Fort Valley. The PAC committee understands that a lot of people can't take vacations. Kids never been on vacation. So what we want to do is bring vacation to the kids in Fort Valley. And we want to do this by way of Hunger Truck and do vendors out at Festival Park. Everything will be free for the kids, and we would like to ask the mayor and city council, can we do this every other Saturday at Festival Park, so the kids can have some sort of vacation for the summer. We'll make it like vacation for them.
Beginning when?
Beginning next Saturday.
Yeah, next.
Saturday. I didn't get the date on here, but it's next Saturday. And I've spoken with the Mr. Robinson with the owner truck and also a few vendors, and they are willing to do this for the kids. Yes. What's the use of no money? What's the use of the
That's every Saturday,
Every other.
every other Saturday. So that's all tied up for every other Saturday, for any other event people want to come in.
And we can, I mean,
You see what I'm saying? I'm just, for scheduling issue, not saying you're giving, you have
We can work, we can do that.
Before- We'll do the
Just, the part, the pavilion, I didn't have any, I don't think we made plans for the pavilion. We just wanted about 2 or 3 vendors, the counter truck, we got the vacation house, so. And a few bouncy houses, these toys for the kids to play on, about noon to 5.
most of the time, it's getting people to believe, so I think we can work around it.
That's fine with me. I mean, that's fine.
So you're talking about May 21st, May 29th, and then, every other Saturday after that, starting May 29th.
Yes, ma'am. And also, we'll set it out for school start, that's Saturday before school starts. We just wanna give them a summer vacation.
When the school let out? This coming Friday.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Ms. White, you have a question?
One thing I want to say is that this is we get to hear that festival process goes through, even over there where the playground is, to the kids, the playground is. That's a lot of space, that's a house is, the pavilion is gonna have to check with Mr. Lorenzo. Make sure we don't have. And some people want the whole park, and they deserve the park.
The only thing I have is, so far, we have someone so far that wants to do a jazz band one Saturday. So, I can't remember the exact date, but I'll give it.
Make sure you let me know, so I don't forget to do anything on that.
And we're gonna stop around 5 o'clock. We can move to
Okay.
5, so we should be out of there.
Okay, let me make mention of this. That's one of the things that the vision that we had provided for us. We have 2 bathrooms that services the pavilion, and we have 2 bathrooms back there in the other part that services the other part. So even if the pavilion is being used by one group, then the other group could be using that. The only thing that we're missing we keep talking about it every year until we're right up on it, is a splash pad.
Yeah, you read my mind.
We need a
Yeah.
splash pad. Them children need some water to play in.
One more thing, we got these grant writers here that I see Greg got his hand
Uh-huh.
up. Let me do it,
Yeah, let me do it, I hear it. We need a splash pad for those children during the summer, so they can play in some water, we really do. So anyway, go ahead, ma'am.
What we're gonna do is rent the water slide, so. when they
Oh,
go down the
okay,
slide,
great.
water- But it's a start.
It's a start.
Next on our agenda, we would like, the next one is a really big one.
Let me ask this question though. If you're only renting the part back there, who does the monitoring of the bathrooms to make sure that they're clean or what? Y'all will do that? You'll be out there to do that.
Yeah, we'll probably be able to,
I mean, we cleaned it before, but during,
All this stuff in the service,
okay,
the Lord just remind y'all, that this is an event, it's co-sponsored by the city.
okay.
And that's one thing. This was just them doing it, they have to sign a new contract and all that stuff. So I think what you're asking is, if you want this to be event, co-sponsored by the city, correct? Then what I was gonna say is, what I would do is have, that's, Lieutenant Dunson's whole job is to do the kind of stuff you're talking about. You know,
Oh.
so we'll have about that, and we handle the rest. So we just need to sit down and talk about exactly what you're
Let me ask also about my insurance, since we're doing it that way. You'll handle that, okay?
No.
No, you were gonna talk
Well,
about
if it's
this,
the city's event, then the city.
okay, liability, all right?
That's something y'all, and each time y'all do this, that's something y'all really need to consider, right?
Okay. You get, okay, all right, all right.
One more.
And how old how young a kid do you have to be?
I
Mean to
mean,
be married?
yes, ma'am, adults are welcome back there too. We're gonna have the kids stuff really nice and adults will come. In fact, we want the adults to be there to watch the kids. We're gonna offer the fun. And they can do it.
I'm on my way. All right, now,
And then one other thing that we'll have to consider, if there is a big disturbance, say, some of the kids, that would cost the city a lot of that publicity and or money, if we have an option to stop everything, so that will be inside the contract.
Yes, ma'am.
okay,
And there's another plus, I am the director of the TV court. Yeah,
I forgot about that.
All right. All right.
The one last one is a big cow. It's gonna be, we asking for a home.
We
We
can
asking
get
for,
Frank to be able to pay that.
well, we try, I think we just talked about it a few weeks, but, we trying to get 2 days. October 22nd and 23rd. And it's gonna be a old fashioned homecoming party, just like it used to be on the strip.
Okay.
But I'm gonna let Ms. Tharp expound on some things. I don't want to give away a lot of stuff. So Ms. Tharp, will you come up and expound on some things?
Okay, so homecoming used to be where the community was involved, right? So I remember when I was little, we were just ready to go to parade, and then we walked the street and had a good time. So now that has been, everything's on campus now, so girls can be a part of it. But you don't bring the local people.
Yeah.
So Friday night, we done a children's soul concert. Alright? So Friday night, we have 3 artists coming in to sing. Friday night, we have a 4. And we have to get artists coming in both nights.
Very good.
Yeah, so what we have to do is, we're gonna have the judges come in and line up already, so when the parade is on.
Okay, so what now? I'm sorry. I'm trying to get you to see.
So when the judges come in, we'll have the judges come in, go ahead and set up in this, inside gate. And, so people, residents, visitors can go ahead and start participating in it. And so, like I said, Friday night, they're probably from 6 to. I'm gonna ask you, ask for chief surgeon for security, and that's all we ask. And,
You know, now, some years ago, it's been about 3 years ago now, we had something called barbecue and brews out there coming up to homecoming. Can y'all remember that happening? Even though it wasn't well attended because some of the alumni from Hunt High School and those other places had their own stuff going on everywhere. But if you advertise and put that out there, then they will come. And it's a wide open area and a good time to have a good time. And I'm especially excited about it because this is my Fort Valley State's class 50th year anniversary. And so I want to have a good,
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna,
I'm telling you,
they took the strip from the local, so we're
Yeah,
gonna
I
take the
got
strip to the park.
I got you. And so what you gotta do now, also, we had some time before, and everybody said, well, we don't wanna take that out of the mouth of the university. Well, the university only has certain space for out there. You only have certain parking space and everything. So if it's not gonna be on the strip, let it be at the festival park. I tried to get them to do their homecoming dances out there at the festival park. Everybody wanted to be inside so they could wear their sequins, and that kind of thing. So hopefully we can push that like it needs to be. All right. So
The minutes are that park available at the time.
we say the 23rd and the 27th. Well, go ahead and book it if you would. And Jazz, they should have done it.
23rd through the 22nd, 22nd, and 23rd, Friday night.
Okay,
And we was told
Miss-
to,
Miss Patrick,
This is gonna be something that's sponsored by the city or not?
it's sponsored by the
Sponsor.
co-sponsor.
So the city is involved in that.
Yes,
No
ma'am.
insurance is gonna be required.
So what now?
So no insurance is required.
Not
Okay. I'm just asking because you said to book it now, so I can know if they can sign a new contract or not. We're not discussing that till Thursday. So that's what I was asking.
I think what needs to be discussed is they don't have independent artists and all that other kind of stuff. They would be looking at promoting instead of, so they promoting, it, there would be a lot of them to do all that stuff about the actual people for what call we provide their own insurance. But we need to have a discussion about that, to make sure we.
Okay, we're gonna have a meeting with them, the people who actually gonna respond to this. And he wants to call us as soon as we get ready, and let him know, they're gonna go ahead and do everybody.
So the first part of the process will be y'all get before the city sponsor. Then the next part will be the discussion about the insurance and all that stuff. That would be first the city pay, that would be them, they provide their own insurance. Am I correct in that?
If I understand properly.
If I understand what y'all saying. But we can talk about all that. Yes, ma'am.
We're finally getting down to the point where we wanted that festival park to be utilized just that way. And, everything we had, everybody would come up this way to do it, or do it right there on Main Street or that kind of stuff. We got that big space out there. That's what we did, all of the development of the festival park for. And so I thank y'all for coming up with ideas so that we can enjoy it, and let's all join in and make sure that happens. Okay?
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Well, we got it from the fact, I like for them to go through and let us personally thank them for the good job they did on First Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're gonna include,
Well, as we said, first of all, as we said earlier, this is not just a committee. There are about how many of y'all is it? I know I'm missing about 4 that I normally see that comes, but these people put in their time to plan, orchestrate, and work. I talked to Ms. Aegis when I was on my way to South Carolina for my granddaughter's and talked to Mayor Pro Tem here too. Yeah. Folk used to say, I'm here, but my heart is here. And my husband used to say, no, don't tell that, right? But you can't be there and your heart is here. You got, but anyway, but my heart was there and I was checking. And so, I just really, I felt good that y'all were having a good time. That's what a community does when they work together, instead of working against each other. So thank y'all so much for what you do. And I hope you just stay energized, stay young, and keep up the good work.
and if my mother-in-law called me,
Back on the map. And that's what the social media was saying. So thank you so much.
We thank y'all for putting us back on the map.
Back on the map. Before we go any further with who's to see us now or what we're gonna discuss this time, I want to introduce a couple of people here. Of course, now y'all know Greg. Greg is here from the Regional Commission. And this is Dean Nelson. This is Dean Nelson that used to work for DCA, the Department of Community Affairs. And now we got him back in our area. Every time we did a CHIPS grant or something like that, Dean was the person that kind of helped us monitor that. So it's good to have folk in the house who know what to do. Now, we should go to the Capitol and do some, okay. I will leave that one alone. Thank you. Thank you so much for being with us this afternoon. And I assume they are here for a couple of things. Borky is writing our grant first application for the city of Fort Valley. And we got everything, I think, all in place and ready to submit. Now, we have submitted it one time and we didn't qualify, but we don't give up. And so we've written again. I think the last thing that we were adding was the class that you took, which was the new electric training. Yeah, electric training. So I think we qualify for everything that we'll do well with this time. Also, I would like to involve them in writing the next round of the CDBG block grant. And that's April 1st, I think is the deadline for that. Is what that is. So now, Lamenza, we got to talk to our people who flowing around with that audit and everything, because it's got to be right at that particular time if we're going to qualify. DCA doesn't play with that. So let's just keep that in mind. Let's make that our goal. Okay, items to be discussed. There was nobody else. Ms. Marshall coming in? Huh? Were there items to be discussed? Y'all wanna go first?
We can go ahead and go.
Okay, come on
See
in.
what I'm doing for you, that's the flash plan, City Hall.
All righty.
Tell them to bring you some pictures too.
Gonna give you a few copies for folks who aren't here in the room here.
Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you so much. I think the thing we're here on the agenda for items to discuss is the comprehensive plan. All right, and I do want to say, yes, we did get the plan for submission sent into the state last Friday.
Great.
All righty, so I'll stand here so that y'all can hear me,
These
hopefully.
pictures look like real pictures.
Yeah, they are real. I hope they are. I'm about ready to bite into one of them here if I can. But well, we're here to talk today about the comprehensive plan for the city of Fort Valley, city of Byron, and Peach County. As you all know, the comprehensive plan is a document that every single city, every single county in the state of Georgia is required to have, and it's required to be updated every 5 years. So your last comprehensive plan was done in February of 2017, which means, count 5 years from that, February of 2022 is when the updated comprehensive plan will be due. And this is just about the right time to get that process started so that we've got enough time to get good public involvement and citizen input leading up throughout that process. So we do it because the state requires us to have a plan, but we also do it because planning is something that is a useful activity, helps you set a vision of where you're at, where you want to go. And I think as the mayor was talking about with big projects like Festival Park, that kind of project doesn't happen unless you have an idea of where you want to go going into it. So these are the types of projects that we want to start looking at planning for over the next 5 to 10 years. So if you go on to the third slide of the handout there, we'll see there are a variety of topics that we're going to typically talk about. These will include transportation, economic development, we'll talk about housing, talk about cultural resources, recreation, we'll talk about public buildings and utility services, we'll talk about public safety and health, we'll talk about land use, and we'll talk about broadband as well too. And broadband is actually an area we've already been having a lot of discussions there, so probably not a whole lot more that needs to be brought into for that. But those are the main topic areas that the state requires. And so wanted to just sort of pause there and see, is there anything, council, mayor, that you think needs to be added to that list of topics that definitely needs to be discussed?
I think you got it covered. Public buildings and utilities. We just got through having a meeting about stormwater utilities that we're rolling out in the future. And then we have been talking about a new municipal complex for City Hall. We've been talking about that. We haven't gotten down to starting the ground running on that yet. And we're talking about something with broadband. Of course, I signed a non-disclosure agreement, so I can't talk about that right now with land use. But now, culture, resources, and recreation. If you can remember, y'all wrote that grant for us for that walk trail that joined Hunt High walk trail over there. So that part of it has been completed. The only other thing that I think about if with recreation is maybe some bike lanes that we don't have, and I don't know if we have the width of our streets in order to be able to do that. But that's probably one of the things. And now our economic development chairperson that's over the committee, that's over that committee, is not here today, but he has an economic development board now that some of the council members are on, as well as some community people are on, and they're on top of some things with economic development that's coming up. With one of them is we're talking about an Airbnb that's going to be coming right down the street here. We talked about that. That was needed this past weekend when we had graduation. People came in here, and our hotel was needed too. So there are things that we are really looking at. Now on the transportation line, I don't know much about that. The chief and the public works people have to think about that. These electric vehicles are becoming very popular now, and the Clean Air Coalition has grants out there that can provide for that kind of thing. And our new truck stop, we're trying to get the guy to put at least one EV charging station out there. So we're looking for that too, because the closest one is Sardis Church Road, I think.
That's what I was gonna say, the EV charging station is probably the best bet. I think you're gonna see a big push in the next, congressional session because of the pipeline.
Oh, yeah.
Today, the pipeline has some more trouble because they're going to update the firewall. Right. So people are tired of being dependent on the Middle East for oil. You're gonna see a big switch.
Right. And you know, Bluebird has built some electric buses already. Senator Warnock was here the other day and we took a tour on it, as a matter of fact, on that bus. And so naturally, we got Senator Warnock and Ossoff and Senator Bishop up there in DC that's on our side, as far as trying to get funding for that kind of thing. And that is a vision that Bluebird is trying to pursue. Well, you just got your pen. Okay. All right, Ms. Brian?
I've been talking to the school commissioners and they want to push that piece for us. In your opinion, that's gonna really help the city of Fort Valley. And, you know, but we got so many roads that we, and then we won't have to worry about everything.
And we don't want to combine the T-Splash initiative with anybody else. We're talking about Peach County and Fort Valley. Because the last time we did that, it lost. And so we're working for that, T-Splash. Right. Right. Okay. On housing, we're still working on that. We've got about 5 houses on the CHIP program right now. 2 of them have been completed, I think. Ain't that right, Lorenzo? And 2 of them been completed, I think, the drawdowns are
2 are completed and, we began, doing the leg inspections and all that on the other 2.
Okay, okay. I got a call just yesterday from a guy that asked me if there are some places in the opportunity zone here in the city, because they're wanting to do some things just like Horton Homes did, like modular homes in the opportunity area. As a matter of fact, he woke me up this morning, like he was calling my office, he called my cell phone. And of course, I have driven him around in the community before, but now we got to identify where the opportunity zones are so that he could kind of look at that. But I think housing is going to be improved in the future. And of course, broadband is also. All right. That's all.
Well, I think those are some great areas that we'll be very excited to talk more about over the next few months, because I think there's a lot of good work there. Dean, you want to talk about what the timeline is going to look like and then what we'll need from Fort Valley?
Thanks, Greg. Good to be back.
Hey, man, it's good to see you again.
Thanks for having me. Timeline, we're doing the kickoff in May. We'll talk to the city council for both cities and the county commission to discuss what the comp plan is and what the process is. And we're talking about identifying key stakeholders, like we talked about, the economic development committee, the housing committee, and people out in the community. In June through July, we'll be doing public engagement. We'll have our first public hearing, 2 public hearings that's required, one at the beginning and one at the end of the process. And we'll put together an online survey. And this is where we look at trying to get some high-level goals together for the comp plan. And then August to November, we'll be doing stakeholder sessions. And that's one of the things that we'll need your help with, is getting stakeholders for our stakeholder communities. We'll do sessions first in August, where we'll have community outreach to begin with, and then we'll have the stakeholder sessions to identify needs and opportunities. And then in September, we'll have more in-depth sessions where we'll really go toward developing a 5-year plan. And during the period of September to December, we'll be really doing our heavy-duty writing on our computers, getting out all the information that you told us you wanted in the plan. And then in November, we'll come back to the group for the 3rd stakeholder session to look at the plan, review it, and refine it, and come back and let us know, is that what we said? Do we need to change it? That kind of thing. And then in December, that's the conclusion of the planning process. We'll have that final public hearing I alluded to, and we'll send the plan to DCA for their 30-day review. And in January, we'll revise anything that's necessary, like they come back and say you need to do. And then the city, Byron, the city of Fort Valley, and each county board of commissioners will adopt the comp plan. And if you go to the last page, we talk about the next steps. We're looking for really a facility that can that'll be large enough to sort of house us for the stakeholder sessions so that we can get COVID conscious and have safety precautions. Everyone is sort of at different levels of how they feel. So this, we're looking for rooms large enough so that everybody can be comfortable. We encourage masks, but we really want it to be in person because you get a much better feel for what people are wanting to discuss. You can really communicate a little bit better in this setting if it's in person.
But how many people would you be kind of looking for us to maybe plan for?
Generally,
75,
15.
Yeah, wouldn't have to be that big. I'd say if we get about 30 to 45.
Okay,
Would be really nice.
when we do that, we got a couple of places that I could suggest. The utility commission meeting area, now they're going back into in-person meeting now, starting in June or July, I think it is. And that's large enough. The Austin Theater would be large enough. And then going Fort Valley State's campus. But now, if you go to Fort Valley State campus, they're gonna charge you. More than likely, we try not to worry about doing that. Huh? Peach County, oh, yes, sir. Peach County High Auditorium. Now that's big enough for anything. Okay? All right.
Thank you. It's a really good suggestion.
Okay.
And we're looking to get your help also to identify the community stakeholders that I talked about.
One of the stakeholders that I really want to make sure that we include when we start the process, you know, Fort Valley State is doing a solar farm in conjunction with Georgia Power. You heard me mention that, Greg, at the Clean Air Coalition meeting the other day. There's about 100 acres of land out there. And I don't know what the megabytes are. Somebody asked me what the megabytes were. I'm telling you. So I can't figure out what it kilowatts. Kilowatts? Well, I don't know. But anyway, I do know that they put so much money into that. And so that's one of the stakeholders that probably need to be in on this planning process, along with some from the county. Okay.
And we will also need assistance with public engagement, publicizing the meetings, publicizing the comp plan, getting the word out, getting the information about the survey is out. Survey will more than likely be an online survey, so because we can get more people to work to do that one. But we'll need to get you to help us get with key stakeholders in the community that can get it out to people.
Miss Dr. Will, right? Do you mind Dean and Greg having your email address? She does a great job of making flyers. Take a little information and make children want to eat it. All right.
Any other questions or?
Absolutely, yeah, and I think, yeah, some of your extras were on our tier committee last time, so, yeah.
Yes.
So,
Okay. Great.
all right,
Sounds good.
well, thank you very much. If there's anything you know where to find us.
Thank you. Dean, it's good to have
City Hall and
BCA.
Splash Pad, right?
Bring back the Fort Valley. And Linda Ballot has been down here too. We see Greg all the time. We have to bring Atlanta to Fort Valley. All right. Thank you so much.
And something else.
All right.
Y'all be safe.
Be safe going back up that road.
Will do.
Thank you.
All right, so now let's go down to the items to be discussed, which is number 6. Starting with number 6, and the first one is the resolution to declare surplus property. And that's one of those things that will be on your agenda to vote on Thursday night. This is not something that we have to deal with at this moment. That's Samuel Jones Street, parcel number F05E 129, and then 304 Vienna Street, parcel number F08A 068. All right, and number 2 is the renewal of Judge Trimble's Shamir Trimble's contract.
I think that's what maybe we have to go on the judge's contract that we did a couple years ago. It's just a technicality. She has expressed she wants to serve.
Okay. All right, so that copy of that contract is behind tab number 2 in your notebook. Did we give our city attorney a notebook too? You did. Okay, so you got that. Okay. So if anything that come out at us, she'll see it. You know, she start wearing her glasses. We about to read her to death. Okay. All right. The next is a okay.
Even though I will make the motion that we, give her a contract. By law, do we have to advertise that position?
Come on, Judge Trimble's position. If it's a new person.
We don't have to put on that advertising. I'm gonna be the one to nominate.
Okay.
But I don't wanna get him into trouble by not being transparent and giving opportunities like we over there in court.
You don't like that?
I'll let you go.
I'm only kidding. I only kidding. I'm talking on behalf of Terry G. All right, let's go to number 3. Resolution to accept the highest bid for surplus property on 109 Samuel Street, and it's got the parcel number here, F05E 130. Now, Lomenzo and Sacagawea, and there was one other person, Markia Myrick, and they met the other day and went and opened the bids. Those were the 3 staff members that did that. And y'all have a recommendation for us.
Yes, Dr.
Doctor. I can't remember her name.
Think it'll be the- It'll be the third one for 15.
Shante Johnson,
Yes, her.
for the amount of 15,000.
Yes,
Okay. Thank you. That was the highest bidder.
yes.
Okay, so that'll be in your pack to vote on Thursday night. All right, and then the next one, this is just for, I think, an FYI, an invoice for the Middle Georgia Region Commission invoice. That's one of those things that we pay the dues to the Region Commission every year. And that's not something I think that we need to vote on. Well, Raphael said we needed to vote on it, so maybe we hadn't been voting on it and need to vote on it. Behind tab number 4, you will see that invoice there. And behind the right before there with the 2nd of April 2021, it tells you how it's calculated or how it's tabulated. Right there. Okay, so we'll have that in your packet to vote on Thursday night. All right, and number 5 deals with the Festival Park stage rental fee discussion. Okay, when we had First Friday night downtown, naturally no rental of a stage or anything of that nature, but I'm hearing that we're getting a lot of uses of our Festival Park stage and repeated uses that we might need to think about charging a fee. Yes, sir.
Mr. Raphael just wants to make sure we revamp the festival support process called credit card situation. Now we can hold people's credit card. We want to do the same thing for
The rental.
for the rental.
Okay.
So that we can at least have somebody breaks or something. We have a deposit. It's good thing.
Okay. All right, so now is there a contract here that you're gonna add to that?
Yes, ma'am. It'll be a
Advising
contract
on
just like
contract.
the thing, and I think y'all will have to come up with whatever the fee y'all want. We can talk about it.
Okay. All right. Does that need to go on the agenda for Thursday?
Has he discussed the fee schedule yet? Or? So I think y'all gonna have to discuss it. I think y'all gonna come up with whatever y'all want the fee to be.
So is that ready for Thursday?
Yes, ma'am. If y'all want to come up with a number.
Y'all wanna come up with a number tonight? Think about it, or you wanna think about it?
Well, we all think about it because it needs to come up in public works, right?
I agree.
So, okay.
The rental is usually the church. I would not want to charge the church, but I would like to have a liability contract for them. Not saying that we're gonna I don't know of anybody else that uses it other than the churches. And instead of who,
Oh, you talking about the stable
oh,
one?
you're talking about the stable one.
You talking about stable one?
When
But
you
they
rent
talking about the one that we
festival
moved.
card, you should- That's part of the deal.
We talking about the move.
The mobile, units are usually used by the churches only. And I would not wanna charge a church for using it. However, I want them to sign a liability contract saying that, I'm responsible.
Also, it wouldn't hurt to say thank you with the ones that do the lifting and the packing up in order to do that. We know we have our employees that do that, but they're taking care of our equipment, but, to have a luncheon for the folk that do something like that wouldn't hurt. Or to say, some kind of way to say thank you for what you do.
I think that's, if I'm not, I'm gonna speak to this right here, but I think the point was, walk them, have to put it together, take it, and you got people doing overtime and stuff like that. So this is something y'all need to consider, and I don't know if anybody there has a number for it, but it's something.
Well, but it need to be a number, like she said, yeah, well, it should need to be a number that's not necessarily, it's making money. It needs to be a number that the people that's doing the work, yeah, yeah,
You know, the citizens are the ones that pay for it.
that's right. I agree.
So I don't think they need to be double charged for a church who's on the one that's using it. Now, if you want to set another fee for, in case this attorney want to use it, then I'd agree with that. But now, as far as, you might have a church. You have a church, anyway. But as far as double collection of church, I just don't.
They ought to pay for the costs.
Yeah.
Using it.
Well,
We're not asking them to pay twice for the equipment.
let me share, let me,
My opinion, all the time,
We're
that's
having to
fine.
pay.
I want to share with you because I know my church has used it some. My pastor said that the guys that bring the in and set it up, he kind of preached them or something every once in a while because of the work that they do. And that's not going in public work coffers or anything of that. They're going in their pocket. They go get them something to eat with or whatever that is. He has done that before. He shared that with me. Now he has used it before. Trinity has used it before. Yeah, same thing. And so I think they are doing that. But y'all think about it, and then we'll come up with
One just tell me to be going to be here. Maybe, Mr. Walker, you have an idea how often it's been used?
Well, for the last, since first Friday, they use it basically every weekend. They use the environment and they use it at the hospital. Taylor Mill Road.
for a house on Taylor Mill
The
Road
auction, church out there.
or an auction.
No, the church on Taylor Mill Road. What's the name of it? Or church of auction.
That's in the county.
Right.
I mean, that's in the city. That's not the church in the city.
Right before you get to the bypass.
Okay. Oh,
Well, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Everybody be thinking about what you want.
right.
Add to it, and Rock, you'll get here.
We talk about it in the public works. Okay. So let's take
Still
that off.
saying I would like to have the churches exempted. But now Jimmy wanna rent it for his.
That's because he danced so good. That's all. All right, let's take it off the agenda for Thursday night and then let it be on the public works agenda the next time. All right, number 6 is the budget development calendar that Lomenzo has given to us. I don't think number 6. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, we didn't have it behind a tab or anything, but they gave that to you. So if you could put that with your material, with your notebook, or put it in your calendar and that kind of stuff. And in addition to that, he has given us the budget amendments that our auditor suggested that we needed to make, and is highlighted on your document. Lomenzo, did you want to speak to this?
Yes, we simply just have to vote yea or nay on whether we're gonna increase the budget for the line items that went over during that budget year, which would be 2018.
Okay. And
Can we have this money?
Well,
It's not like you got to spend it, it's been spent.
yeah, it's been spent, we just need to, for the book's sake, we need to have some type of motion or year, and,
For papers,
To
for
do the
documentation.
adjustment
yeah.
for,
Just-
for the audit.
Right, it still might be a short of it.
It'll show as an increase to that year's budget, but it's just, I guess, we just gotta vote on whether we wanna increase those line items, whether we wanna move the line items that we didn't go over with, we wanna reallocate those funds to the ones that we did, that's just, we just need to vote on, do we wanna make that adjustment to that budget?
And I
So what
also,
we're doing is really balancing the budget.
Yeah.
Uh,
I also suggest, when we start to develop this budget coming up, that we take all of these into consideration so that we can not under budget, because it sounds like some of this was under budget. And it looks good to under budget, to make people feel good, but it come back to hunt you a little bit later on.
Take into consideration how that was done. So,
I know, with the
So that was a
utility
whole-
commission.
that year there is an anomaly.
Yeah, but if,
That, along with the lack of a stable city administration.
and if we,
And, oh, just, let's put it, more than one thing causes me in that position, so.
Yeah. if we don't get our minds and our thoughts right, for everybody, when I say community, state, local and legislature and everybody else, we don't get our minds and our thoughts right, we would have trouble again. So since we have come out of that now, we don't need to go back into that.
by spending,
Ma'am?
by overspending.
Well, no, I'm talking about overspending, I'm talking about the wrong attitude. We need to get our attitude about that, right? Okay, all right, yes. Okay, now, number 7, has been recommended to us by, law enforcement. I'm gonna let the chief speak to that. I think our sheriff, brought this up to us and wanted us to, address this.
Yes, ma'am. The sheriff contacted me and apparently his deputies have been inundated with, one of the sheriff's constitutional responsibilities is serving in court papers. In order to get somebody who's declared mentally unstable, that would have to be called 1013, the judge has to sign. Apparently, they have been inundated with these requests and group homes and transition homes. So he asked me if the city would consider putting a moratorium on these group homes. Y'all brought that up at the last work session, looked into it to make sure the numbers we had were true. And I think it was 8 Lieutenant Marshall we had in the city at this point, was 8 group homes. And what the sheriff would like to do.
Now?
Yes, ma'am. What the sheriff would like to do is capture that number, and that's not approved anymore.
Have you looked into, other municipalities to see if cities our size or that, are they overrun by that or underrun by that?
Apparently, this is I'm not gonna call it a problem. This is something that the state is encouraging people to do to disperse because of the collapse of the mental health system. This is one of the ways they're trying to deal with it. Apparently, there's grants available and all that stuff. But I'm just gonna say this: 8 for us is a lot. We're talking about a population of less than 10,000 people, so that's 1 for every 1,000 people. Other cities have the opportunity to really share it with us. And if the sheriff is saying that they're having to deal with too much, then obviously it's a problem. It was kind of cool to read off us because we don't serve 1013 papers. So the only way we was getting called was there was a disturbance. There have been a couple of disturbances. Y'all remember there's one on Percy Street where we had a young man, Lieutenant Marshall, did a great job of stabilizing that young man. But anytime we had those people in our community that present unique challenges, one of the things I want to remind y'all of is, we're in the middle of this second phase of the Black Lives Matter movement. A lot of the stuff that we've been dealing with around this country has to do with mentally unstable people and how to police and get. So I totally agree with the sheriff, and I actually appreciate it. Thank you for bringing it to my attention.
Okay. I want to, mention also that we are kind of wide open up here. People that come in that's a little bit mentally unstable, most of the time they'll go right to Raphael's room or his office. He go to Soccer's, and Soccer has a guard right there, but still, that's just a little plexiglass. And she's sitting and she handles it so well. I call her the gatekeeper. she smiles at them. But you have people coming in that's talking out of their head all the time that kind of stares. And when I hear it happening, I can close my door, but she can't close hers. And so, we are being open to some things up here that we really got to be protective of. Thank you. So that'll be on your agenda. Would there just be a voting or we need a resolution?
No, I just need to vote.
Just want to
Without
vote on it.
size, I'm not going to approve no more than.
Just vote. Okay. All right. We have an executive session that we need to go into in order to be updated on some litigation. And I'd rather us do this tonight rather than waiting until Thursday night, if we could. All right. Okay, moved by, Brian and seconded by, Madam Hartsford that we go into executive session. That being the case, we would ask everybody to leave except our attorney and council members.
Before we do that, I wanted Walt and I wanted Chief to be in the executive session while I speak, and I want Ms. Gowan to stay on Zoom, please.
Is she there?
I want to bring something up that's very important.
Okay, all right,
Chief and Walt and everybody else.
all right, thank you.